Well, welcome everyone. Welcome back to another Giving Circle Spotlight. I am your girl, Taisha Ty Wilson, Director of Engagement at Philanthropy Together, and I am so excited about today's conversation. Joining me today is the Los Angeles Latino Giving Circle. They are a part of our friends over at the Latino Community Foundation Network. And so I'm super excited to just jump into this conversation because they are doing some amazing things around Los Angeles County. And we're going to learn about some secret sauce that can help scale all of our work or inspire you to start your giving circle. So welcome, Steven. Welcome, Evelyn. Thank y'all so very much for being here, being in community. Happy New Year, all of those good things. So, I'm just going to jump right on in. Why don't y'all go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell me your specific roles within the Giving Circle, and just an overview of the circle itself.
So, since I'm off mute, I'll start. Hello, everyone. Evelin Montes, she, her pronouns. I am the daughter of Salvadoran immigrants. My parents came to the States when immigration policy was very different. I definitely recognize that in terms of migration to the States. Let's see. Anything else that I want to just say? Other identities. I am a pansexual woman, an auntie, and I am a crier. But I don't think I'm going to cry during this meeting. But it may be, to all those criers out there, I'm your gal. You're in good company. And in terms of the Giving Circle, we are just a group of committed, fun, passionate, sometimes a little irreverent folks that just come together. We're very playful, and we really it's about community for us. So I'll just stop there so Steven can share more.
Thanks, Evelyn, and thank you again for the opportunity, Taisha. My name is Steven and Almazan, and I use he/him pronouns, and I am the son of Mexican immigrant parents, proudly born and raised in Boyle Heights on the east side of Los Angeles. And I am a Giving Circle member and a member of on and off of the Leadership Council for the Latino Community Foundation's Los Angeles Latino Giving Circle, which is part of the Latino Giving Circle network, the largest network of Latino philanthropists committed to investing in Latino-led organizations in California, working to achieve social change. And specifically in Los Angeles, we're entering our 7th year of existence, which is really, really exciting.
Awesome. And a lot of people don't know about the networks itself. And so you shared, Steven, that's something I'm gonna pull out. LCF, the Latino Community Foundation, is the largest network of Latinx philanthropists in the country, y'all. So why don't y'all share a little bit about just that partnership with LCF and in terms of y'all grant making and just all of the things, because I think people need to know about the networks, especially LCF.
Steven, do you want to take it or do you want me?
Sure. No, I'm happy to start off, and Evelyn, please do correct me and fill in the gaps. But the Latino Community Foundation, they started the Latino Giving Circle network about 10 years ago. So they just celebrated their 10-year anniversary. There are about 19 Latino Giving Circles across California. And there are affinity-based Latino Giving Circles. So there are women-led Giving Circles. There are LGBTQIA+ Giving Circles. There are circles that are specifically around based on geography, all across from the Bay Area to Southern California and everything in between. And collectively, over the past 10 years, there have been about $2.8 million invested in Latino-led nonprofits of the 19 Latino Giving Circles, which is really, really exciting. And from there, I think we're just honored to be part of the Los Angeles Latino Giving Circle and to be part of such a robust network and just the guidance and support of the Latino Community Foundation is critical and essential to our success and our community building. And as is shown on Evelyn's background, the love, culture, and power that exists within and throughout our Giving Circle network.
I just love LCF's the values. Love, culture, power is so real. And thank you for sharing that. I think that, you know, I read that you all, your Giving Circle was absolutely instrumental with helping the foundation to mobilize throughout LA County. In such a short time, you all have raised over $250,000. Shout out to the circle. That is amazing. And I'm just wondering, you know, can y'all share a little bit more about the organizations that your Giving Circle seeks to support, or just, you know, who's the people in the village that you're trying to reach?
Yeah, you know, the cool thing about the Giving Circles in general is that we're pretty autonomous, right? So we come together as members and decide how is it that we want to grant, what issue areas we want to grant, and et cetera, right? And even geographic, because when we speak to LA, there's LA City, there's LA County, and then there's like, you know, the neighboring, right? Cities and counties that surround us. So for us, we do a yearly process of identifying, okay, what are the issue areas? What are the, you know, borderlines, right? Areas, geographic areas. And then from there, we hone in, right? So for example, we've been focusing a lot on immigration and refugee rights, looking at economic justice, right? And within that falls different things such as housing justice, worker rights, or what have you. And we then seek out, you know, organizations that are within that. We also look at budget ranges, right? Who, you know, what's the budget range? And so it's always a great conversation at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year when we're doing our grant making. But at the end of the day, we really want to focus in on what is our donation, our grant? What's, you know, what can it leverage for organizations? And so that always, we bring it back to that of a lot of the members have been in the nonprofit sector and or philanthropic sector, right? And or personal experience, right? Of like owning a business or having services acquired from organizations. So it's very personal in terms of, it's not just about like what impact they're having. It's really about how can our grant dollars leverage more, and also open doors, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of opening those doors, you know, we philanthropists are known for the 5 T's, right? Of giving not just our treasure, but our time and testimony and ties and talents. How is or if y'all are, how is your members leadership team, how are y'all supporting your grantees like beyond the dollar around LA County?
You want to go ahead, Evelyn?
Well, I was just going to say that the great thing about the Latino Community Foundation is, in addition to the Giving Circle network, it also has an accelerator program, and that's basically a capacity building program that supports the grantees, right, of our Giving Circles. So that's one way. And also some of our membership across the state can also support with volunteering. And the other piece of it, I would say, is really when I talked about opening doors, it's about within that network of grantees, having them connect and do, you know, get to know each other, meet one another, and begin those organic or strategic collaborations.
And just to build on Evelyn's point, as a circle at the end of each cycle, we have our grants night where we then provide the allocated amounts that we would like to invest to our grantees. And that evening, we designate a liaison to each grantee to ensure that we stay in communication with them and learn about their progress throughout the year and how they're utilizing the funds and how we can be of help. And to Evelyn's point, there are many opportunities where individual Giving Circle members have historically volunteered for some of the grantees based on their programming needs. And more recently, I know over the course of the pandemic, Giving Circle members had the opportunity to support one of our grantees who is a leader in a street vending campaign to support efforts at the state to ensure that there's more access to permits, for example, for local street vendors and be part of the food economy. And that's just one example, but I think it's really centered around our priorities that Evelyn mentioned, including civic and community engagement, and through the priority of economic justice as well.
Well, that is I would imagine, just from your grant nights and all of the work that guys are doing boots on ground, that's keeping your members booked and busy and engaged. So what is that? Would love to just hear a little bit more about how you all are sustaining your giving circle. Like you said, you're approaching year 7. And so we have new giving folks are just starting their giving circle journeys. And then we have those kind of at the mid mark 5 year. My circle is 5 years old. And we're all looking at ways and how we can better engage and stay in community with one another. So what's working for y'all? What would you say is your secret sauce? What's working for y'all to sustain a circle?
Go ahead, Steven. I have stuff too. But...
Sure. I think it's really just about making our space as inclusive and supportive as possible. I think every single time that we meet each other, whether it is through our formal grant making process, the meetings that we participate in because of the Giving Circle process, but also in our more informal social gatherings. I think there's just an appreciation and love of community for everyone because everyone is so deeply invested in supporting Latino-led organizations in Los Angeles. But more recently, in the midst of the pandemic, we had to shift our focus from doing a lot of in-person meetings to shift into a virtual space, and that was new for many of our Giving Circle members. And I think after 18 months and meeting virtually, we had the opportunity in the fall of 2021 to host just our first in-person gathering since the start of the pandemic, where we had a backyard happy hour. One of our Giving Circle members, Pamela Wright, she was so gracious in opening up her home and just having a space for us just to connect, network, catch up, and meet new colleagues and friends who are interested in becoming part of the network. And yeah, that's just one example. And I'm sure Evelyn has so many more examples of how we really just want to make sure that we are creating an inclusive and supportive space for everyone to, if they are not a member of the Giving Circle, showing that we are just really diverse people in our experiences and diverse people in terms of our geography and our connection to Los Angeles, but we all have a common thread in supporting and investing in Latinos across the city and county of Los Angeles.
Yeah. And so one of those first, like in terms of the belonging and having folks feel, or creating a space of inclusivity is every time a new member joins the circle, there's 2 of us on the 2 members that receive an email and just are that touch point. I work, for myself. And so I have more of a flexible schedule. And so I make myself available for just a 30-minute chat. That way, a couple of things. One, so they can have someone, they have questions, right? So this is an opportunity for them to ask all the questions, and then also have a touch point when they join the first meeting, right? Okay. So it's an opportunity for folks to just have someone that they can connect to, right? You've joined a meeting of Zoom, it's awkward as a bit, right. But when someone is there that, says, hey, Taisha, welcome, right? How you been? And, and it's not done just for the sake of doing it, right? But it's genuinely, I think that's the piece that I really love about our circle. We're definitely multi-generational. Everybody, and we just have a fondness for one another, even if we don't know each other. It's just at least for me, we just automatically connect, right? And so we are intentional about also doing, we have business meetings, but then also touch points throughout. We aim for 2 in-person, right, meetings. And yeah, we just like to get together and, connect. There's usually food and, drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic.
Nice. I'm coming to your next
Yeah.
meeting. No, I'm just kidding. I love
Um,
that because that's real. And I appreciate y'all sharing that because I think now more than ever, people want authentic spaces and places to be around. Like rather that's how they're choosing, with their jobs, through their community work. People want alignment with who they are, their own personal values. And it sounds like, again, going back to that love, culture, power, all of that, y'all values seem real, and I can see how it's pulling your members in and continue on to engage them. Well, I'm always interested in folks' personal stories, like why you personally, Evelyn, you personally, Steven, joined the Giving Circle, and like what has been your experience? What do you love most about the experience so far? So y'all mind sharing a little bit about just your personal experience with the circle and why you joined?
Sure, I can go first. So as I stated, I'm a daughter of immigrants, right? And giving has always been part of my, experience. I just didn't know it, right? But my mom was the person that opened up their home to any new family or, folks that was coming in from El Salvador. And so, yeah, I hear stories of like, different people always being at our home, right? I came later in life with my parents, so but I just hear stories of them just opening up their home. And then I was also in philanthropy, and I always was very interested about giving circles, but I had never found one, that I had an affinity to. So once I started working on my own, and also the invitation to the Giving Circle, it just felt right. I already knew folks, and it was just my way of giving back, right? That model of small wallets, right? Pulling their dollars to then give back to organizations that personally, because of my work in the nonprofit sector and philanthropy, that I could give, and also it's just general operating dollars, right? Making a seamless grant to them just was very powerful for me. So yeah, it's just that opportunity to give back in a meaning, and it's also, it feels like my board service. So yeah, it feels good. So it ticked all of the boxes.
Yeah, sounds like it. I feel that too. What about you, Steven?
Yeah, so much of what Evelyn shares resonates with me and so many of our Giving Circle members. For me personally, I've been a member of the LA Latino Giving Circle for nearly 5 years now, and I'm always inspired by the collective impact and investment of our circle. I joined the LA Latino Giving Circle because I've personally benefited from the investment of Latino leaders and philanthropists who saw potential in me as a kid from Boyle Heights on the east side of Los Angeles. And my commitment to the LA Latino Giving Circle is very much centered around working in partnership with my fellow Giving Circle members like Evelyn to support grassroots organizations invested in addressing racial disparities and advancing equitable outcomes for Latinos in Los Angeles. And part of this work is also centered around demystifying what it means to be a philanthropist. And really empowering and providing the space for anyone to become a grassroots philanthropist. And I think a lot of that shifting is happening through the work of the Los Angeles Latino Giving Circle. But I think it is so powerful to see people from so many different walks of life come together and really contribute and make an investment and make meaningful change into the Latino leaders that we come across because of our work. But part of this work is also making sure that we ourselves are part of the change that we want to see. And I think this statistic has been shared many times through the Latino Community Foundation, but only less than 1.3% of all philanthropic dollars go to Latino organizations. And part of our work is very much making sure that we are taking control, and why not us, giving back to our own community that we know have invested in us as we have developed as students, as professionals, and now as community leaders.
Thank you both for sharing. So for Evelyn, I think you shared this, that some of your, a lot of y'all members had like philanthropic backgrounds, or, I'm sure that they, in some kind of way, they were tied already to philanthropy. But for a lot of members or new members, some folks just don't even know where to start, or like, how do I join, or how do I get plugged into a giving circle? How do I start one? How do I get into the ecosystem of this work? And I'm biased because all of us, we know how easy it is to just come on in, just show up to a meeting. But some people still have that, well, I don't know how to start. How do I plug in? So what advice would y'all give to somebody who is just looking to be in community, looking to join a giving circle or to start one? Where do they start? Where do they go?
Yeah, I mean, good old research. I think it's a combination of things, right? So it's a little bit of research. It's also, I think, understanding the dynamics. And so I feel that that's why we are very intentional. It's not spoken, but we are definitely very intentional about ensuring that people feel welcome when they're joining the circle. So I think it's also about, if a circle's not working for you, here's the other piece, just start one. Like for us, in terms of the Latino Community Foundation, to start one, you bring a number of folks, right? I think it's about 15 people, right? And you can create a circle. I think really, it's really about autonomy. I am of like this, if that's not right for you, if that's not the right fit, then start one for yourself. And then, bring people in, create that chosen family. So that you're wanting.
Family. I love that. Okay, well, before we I'm not gonna hold you all too long, but I do want to blast a series of little questions real quick about the culture, personality of your giving circle, so people can know little tidbits about you. So committees or no committees for your circle? No committees? Okay. Y'all like, that's too formal.
Not formal committees, I guess.
Not formal committees.
Okay. Multi-year grants or 1-year grants?
For now, 1 year.
1 year. Okay.
1 year.
Forever supporting LA County or looking at expansion nationally beyond California?
Have we built consensus on this, Evelyn? I'm going to say
I might be trailblazing for this.
Look, every year we keep it to LA City or LA County. So
yeah. Yes, I'm going to say LA County for now.
Well, you answered this. Wine or coffee at your events? Wine, please. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure both, maybe.
a little bit of both.
Hugs or handshakes?
Oh, hugs.
Absolutely hugs.
Most engagement on Facebook or Instagram?
That's a good question. We're active on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but I don't know which one is most has most engagement. Yeah, all of them.
We're awesome. Well, please, y'all, Evelyn, Steven, tell us for the people who listening, what is something else, anything else that y'all feel that people need to know about your circle, where they can find you, about LCF, any little last advice, whatever you have to share out in our last couple of minutes for the people.
I'm happy to start, but I would just encourage anyone who's interested in joining the Los Angeles Latino Giving Circle community to talk to us, myself, Evelyn, or someone on staff at the Latino Community Foundation. We're a lovely community of leaders who deeply care about Los Angeles and just want to give back and invest. And we also like to have fun while doing it. So we're an inclusive space, and we welcome everyone to join us, whether you're a native Angelino, new to Los Angeles, an immigrant, someone who is first generation, second generation. We accept all, and would just encourage you to reach out to us. LCF's website is latinocf.org, and you can sign up directly on the website. If you're not Los Angeles proper, but in California, we have 19 giving circles to be a part of. And you can find us on social media. Our handle is LA Latino GC on Instagram and Twitter. But yeah, Evelyn.
Yeah, and if you're like, you know what, I just want to make a donation because y'all are great, you can do that too. You don't have to become a member. You can do a one-time donation. And the other thing is that if you're looking to start your own circle, feel free to hit me up. There's other things that have made our giving circle successful, which I didn't mention, but it's also like we do a retreat. We haven't done one, but we're gearing up to do another one in 2023 as we as new members have joined. We're like, hey, it's time, to build those connections. So, yeah, so hit me up if you want to, learn more about how to even just build out a giving circle. And
you guys are awesome. Thank y'all so much for just sharing a piece of your work with us today. And we give you your flowers, Evelin, Steven. Thank y'all for being leaders in this movement, for trailblazing change, for trailblazing in love, and for the culture. And we wish y'all much continued success with the Giving Circle, 20-50K plus up to 1 million. I speak that into existence for y'all, and expansion and beyond. So thank you all for joining today, and y'all go follow them, make a donation, all of the things. Check them out. They're awesome. Bye, y'all.